So the messages that have been coming out lately, when Pastor Lee spoke about seizing the day, about seizing every day, I loved it. I loved it at the start. I took so many notes. I went home and I went to try and apply it. I dominated the mornings. To be honest, it got to about lunchtime and that was fine. Work began to kick in. I'd get home and I'd sort of collapse after a hard day. And then Fee was saying, you got to help me with the kids a bit. You got to pep up a bit. You got to do all these other adult things. And it wasn't until she's saying preach it. It wasn't until I laid in bed that night, because I started every day, God, help me to seize today. And I started off so well, but then stuff happens, and how quickly can we forget that today is separate from tomorrow? That today is separate from yesterday. How much does one day turn into another that blends into another? And all of a sudden days have gone on and it's sort of just been a blur for the last few days. And then Pastor Phil spoke about in Ecclesiastes 10 about it's time to get back on the horse. It's time that we are spirit-led, not soul-led, that when we jump up on the horse, and as I was thinking over this message during the week, I get to drive the bus throughout the week, and I was just reminded of this. I was sitting in the bus in traffic, and as in a car, you see, you're reacting to the brake lights in front of you. You're reacting to what you see in front of you, but when you're driving the bus, you're seated a lot higher. No longer do you just react to the brake lights in front of you, but you can see the cars begin to bank up ahead and say, what's going on here? And you notice the red light. This is the kind of perception that we're called to have. Soul-led, you react to the brake lights instantly. Wow, what's just happened? This has taken me by surprise. But God is positioning us to sit in a place where we don't react in the soul, but we see ahead in the spirit. Say, I'm starting to notice some things up ahead. I'm starting to notice people around me, maybe a little bit getting uptight, maybe a little bit tired. God, what's happening here? Show me. What can I see ahead? That is spirit-led. Pastor Nate was preaching about John and his armor bearer, John and his protection bearer, John and his friend that stood by him through thick and thin, that went through the journey. And I'm speaking more on that tonight with Pastor Rachel the other night, talking about preparing for victory. Preparing for victory, and the friends, how important it is to have the good people around you begin to sharpen you, speak life into you. And tonight, this again is birthed out of that message. So 2 things I want to speak on tonight. Everyone says amen. The 2 things. Some people got really excited. The first one is celebration. The importance of celebrating in this life that we're called to live. Celebrating every day, seizing every day. And the second part is friendship. The friendship, the importance of friendship. And I believe that there's many pillars that need to be set up in our lives, but this is a very key pillar that needs to be set up, not only set up, but in the right place as well. So we have the right friends around us that point us to Jesus, that encourage us, that build us up. These are the kind of things that can support an abundant life. See, without the pillars in place, if this abundant life was dumped upon us, we might not be able to handle everything that comes our way. We might not be able to handle the immense blessing that comes if the character and the people around us aren't strengthening us as we live. Because everyone knows that we're a body, we're a family, we're the bride of Christ, that we are one single unit, even though we have many parts. Amen? I know it's okay if you don't respond to me tonight, because I know you're just taking notes. So it's okay. First off, when God created the heavens and the earth, I want everyone to remember Genesis 1 is towards the start after contents. When he created the heavens and the earth, he said at the end of the first day, said God looked at it, said, this is good. This is good. And then he got to the second day, he did a little bit more the next day, and he said, this is good. He stood back, he celebrated what had taken place, said, this is good. This is good. And as he went on, he celebrated at the end of each stage. He didn't wait until the job was complete. He didn't wait until everything has been said and done, then look back and goes, wow, that was actually pretty good. Nah, he celebrated each stage. How often do we forget to celebrate the stages in our life? That we all put off to one day. You know, one day when this thing's finally done. One day when I finally reach this. One day when I finally get my license. One day when I finally go to uni. One day when I finally get married. One day when I finally retire. One day till the kids finally move out. All that sort of, hopefully not that order. But we're all looking forward to this magical one day. And we forget about 2 days. We forget about this day. We're trying to seize this day. You see, so often I'm like this in my mind. I look so far ahead, and there's things I'm believing for in my family, in my life, in my marriage, in my business, in my church, and I'm looking forward to it. It's over here one day. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good, but I'm not going to spend 2 days measuring how far I've got to go. I'm not going to spend all my time today worrying about tomorrow. Well, look, I've only gone a little bit. Look how far I've still got to go, and get demoralized by that. See, I may not be where I want to be right now, but you know what? I thank you, Jesus, that I'm not back here anymore. I'm serious. I'm thanking Jesus. I might not be where I want to be right now, but I look back and see how far God has taken me in my life, and it's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. You need to look back over your life and stop measuring how long till this is done. How long till I get there? Maybe when I get there. No. Remember where Jesus took you from. Remember like 12 months ago where you were? Remember things, the way things used to be? Thank Jesus that things aren't the same as that anymore. You see, as a church, we have an amazing future. God has big plans for this church that are going to happen, and we're going to walk in that. But let's thank God for what's taken place. Let's thank God for what has happened so far. I'm not just talking about the buildings we've moved from. I'm talking about the things that has taken place in our lives as the bride of Christ, as beauty has been added, where the ashes have turned into beauty, where we've been risen again, where we thought, man, this is getting pretty hard, but God has brought us through again and again and again and again. We need to stop, celebrate, and reflect for a moment that Jesus is still doing stuff in these hard seasons. This is cool. A few months ago, we went on our Pioneer Youth Camp. And on one of the days, we decided we're going to go to the top of the Yuyangs. We're going to go on a mountain walk to the top of the Yuyangs. And that's pretty big. Who here came to that youth camp? Yeah, pretty much everyone in the room. It was an amazing time. We went there. I remember one girl, and she was going up, and she kept turning around looking. I'm doing this. I'm really doing this. I'm making it and celebrating at stages. And then when you get to the top, to see the look of people that I really made it. I got to the top. I didn't think I could do it, but you see them at the stages when there's a little bit of a clearing, when the trees are low enough, you can see, wow, look how far I've actually come. And it encourages you, it builds you, it stirs you on to go that little bit further because you're seeing the results. It's the same if you've ever, I was quite a large kid in school, about half the size I was, and one of the big motivating things for me was to see the scales begin to go down. You see, eating healthy, it's not exciting, it's not that fun, but when you used to see the scales go down a bit each time, I'm actually doing this. Like, this is cool. You know, it's those little things that you need to look for encouragement, for the motivation to grab a hold of. You know what? I am getting somewhere. You know what? It feels like nothing's really changing, but take a moment to celebrate and look back what God has done. Celebrating sometimes can be frowned upon. Celebrating sometimes thinking, look, I don't have time to celebrate. Like, I'm busy. I've got things to do. I'm work. We got to work. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. But how long can you go on and things begin to tie together? Things begin to lose momentum and break down. You see, celebrating is not breaking momentum. Celebrating is not sabotaging your strength to keep fighting. Celebrating, reflecting, it encourages you, it motivates you to go on. So I really believe that we need to take moments like this in church to thank God where we've come from. Thank God what we're doing. We're in a healthier place than we have ever been as a church. There is more teamwork. There is more sense of family than I can ever remember being in this church. This is such an exciting time. God is here and He's moving amongst His people. To seize the day, you have to separate each day with celebration. You see, God Himself did this. He separated the first day from the second day. He didn't need to take a nap, but He needed to take time to celebrate. We need to separate today from tomorrow with the example that God set. Look over, God, I thank you what happened today. God, I thank you. To seize today, sometimes we've got to put off tomorrow. Sometimes we've got to not stress and worry about tomorrow. So we're going to set up some pillars tonight. And I really feel strongly that it's not such a profound message tonight. as it is simple and able for everyone to grab a hold of that and say, you know what, I'm going to put that in action in my life. I believe that with words like this, I'm receiving from this as well, that I'm reaching out. As I've been reading this, I've seen things in the scriptures I've never seen before. Stuff that seems so simple, it just jumps off the pages and I grab it. It's like, I can use this today. Like, I don't have to study this for another few weeks. I can actually grab a hold of this and put it in my life right now. The first thing I want to speak about is John and his armor bearer. John and his armor bearer, they went through thick and thin. See, John's armor bearer, he trusted him and said, look, we're going to go up. We're going to go through this pretty nasty split in the cliff right now. There's sharp rocks on one side, sharp rocks on the other, but we're going to go through this. Do you have people in your life that you can trust if they said that to you? If they said to you, come on, man, I need you to come with me. God's placed something in my heart. Look, it sounds kind of crazy, but will you be with me? Look, I don't really understand it myself, but I've heard from God, will you come with me? Will you come with me? See, there was a loyalty that John's armor bearer had. See, there was a time where they went through this, the armor bearer slew 20 men. I think it was a distance of about 1 acre. That's pretty full on. That's 20 guys coming at you. It's not today where you can get people from a distance. You had to get up close, up and dirty, and fight head to head, fight face to face. Speaking about friendship, to me, you can't go past Proverbs 27. If you were to look at the whole chapter of Proverbs 27, there's so many pearls of wisdom in there, and so much of it speaks about friends. So many parts speak about the people around you. In Proverbs 27, verse 17 to 19 in the Message, it says, you steal to sharpen steel, and one friend sharpens another. If you care for your orchard, you will enjoy its fruits. If you honor your boss, you'll be honored. Just as water mirrors your face, so your face mirrors your heart. How powerful is that last part? You can't hide that. As you see your reflection in water, as you see your reflection in a mirror, so your face mirrors your heart. See, words can hide things for a short period of time. But when friends come around you and they see you not just when the mask is on, not just when everything's going well, and they see the reflection of your face and what's gone on the inside. See, a good friend will come alongside of you and say, hey, I noticed something here. I noticed you've said some pretty cool stuff, but your face, you look down, is everything okay? Is everything all right? Sometimes you need to ask more than once. I'm a sucker for this. Someone asks me, are you all right? Yeah, I'm good. Are you sure? Yeah. Is everything all right? Like, start crying. I think I'm all right. Why? What do you see? Like, why? I don't know. But how often is it like that? But how often do we need that? When someone says, is everything all right? Like, I notice you're not yourself. Is everything all right? And a few more times, and it's the waterworks happen. I was like, oh, yeah, I think so. But when you sharpen steel, you shave off and take off the blunt parts. Who are you letting sharpen you? Who's in your life sharpening you? I saw this. I saw something I've never seen before. It says, use steel to sharpen steel, and one friend sharpens another. It doesn't say one godly friend will sharpen you, does it? It says one friend sharpens another friend. So what that means is you can have a friend that loves you dearly that can sharpen you. They can shave some things off your life, but the difference is, where's the point leading to? Where's the point going to? You see, you can have ungodly friends that love you, that care for you, that want the best for you, but if they're not pointing you to Jesus, what are they pointing to? See, this has been it's a hard thing for me because I know there's people in my life that love me dearly, that want the best for me, family, friends, that they don't have a relationship with Jesus. And sometimes the advice that they give, they mean so well. But Jesus is there, and sometimes they're saying over there. How often have we've caught up with ungodly, not ungodly in a bad, evil way, just friends that don't know Jesus. and we've caught up with them and we're stressed, we're tired, and they look at us and say, you just need to blow off some steam, man. Like, you're working pretty hard, you're doing a lot of things for church, I see you're tired. You just need to blow off some steam, man. Look, come to my house, we'll have a few drinks, relax. You just need to blow off some steam, you just need to relax. How many times, I don't know, it's maybe just me and my friends, so I've heard that many times. They love me, they mean the best for me, but they're sharpening things. They're trying to take edges off that doesn't point to Jesus. We need godly friends around us. Say, look, I notice some things are going on. I notice, look, you look a bit downcast at the moment. Look, I don't know what the answer is, but when you start to feel down, just call me. I'd love to pray with you. I'd love to hang out. Just come over. Just come over. I won't have to give you the answer. We'll just hang out and I'll love you and I'll pray for you and I'll laugh when you laugh. I'll cry when you cry. See, this is what family does. This is what the true sense of friendship. Friendship has sort of lost the power of what it actually means. A friend that sticks by someone like John, his armor bearer, through thick and thin. There's a loyalty. You get to a point and say, look, I'm going to lay down my life for you. See, I love you. I don't know exactly where we're going, but I love you enough. See, I'll be there for you. When trouble comes, I'm going to be there. I might not have the answers, but I'm going to be there and I'm going to do my best to point you to Jesus, because Jesus is the one that changed stuff in my life, so I know he can do it for your life. Be very wise in who we let speak into our lives. Be wise in who we let sharpen us. The point always has to be Jesus. The point of it all always has to lead to Jesus. It has to point to him, to live the kind of life we're called to live. This pillar can be set in place. You can have a good, strong friend circle, but if it's not set up in the right place, you'll still get sharpened. Just the point might not be to Jesus. In Proverbs 27, verse 6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Wounds and the kisses, it speaks of something close, doesn't it? Not from something far off. And I was thinking about this. Do you have friends? Do I have friends close enough that can wound me? For this verse to be applicable in my life, to be applicable in your life, it speaks about having friends close enough. Do you and I have friends close enough that can wound us? It's not normally the way we think about it, but if they're close enough, if they chose to, they could wound us because we've let them in. We've let them in. It's a vulnerable place to live. For this verse to be applicable in our life, we have to live vulnerable. We have to allow, I'm talking about good friends, close friends in close enough that they can speak things into our life. You see, a good friend that loves you will sometimes get in your face and tell you you're wrong. I've had that many times in my life before where I've been so mad about something, I've been so fixated on something, and a friend will come up to me and goes, are you sure about that? Look, I know you feel this way, but what you're thinking, can you tell me how you got there? I don't think it's really quite lining up with what we believe and what you actually would normally say. Can we just talk about that a moment? Do you have friends close enough that you can do that with? See, this is simple tonight. This applies if you're a teenager, you need friends close enough. If no matter what category of life you're in, no matter what stage of life you're in, you need to have friends close enough. You never get to a point, I believe, where you don't need close enough friends that can talk to you and sharpen you and point you to Jesus and take some of the rough edges off your life. In Proverbs 27, verses 14, he who blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him. How true is that? Have you ever got a phone call? Have you ever slept in from work one time and it's like 10 minutes before you start and one of your workmates calls you and said, mate, where are you? How annoyed are you right at that specific time that they've broken your sleep, that they've woken you up, but as you begin to wake up, you think about it, it's like, dude, I'm so glad they called me. And you quickly chuck on your uniform and you rush to work, only going the speed limit. See, how much do you at the time, it is so frustrating. They've woken you up. It's abrupt. But then you think about it, it's like you really needed that wake-up call. Friends, my friends, sometimes I'm going to need a wake-up call Whether I like it or not, I might think like you were cursing me at the time. I might feel like a wound at the time. But faithful are the wounds of a friend. I'm going to need you to call on me sometimes, says, where are you? What are you doing? It's time to go. You're getting left behind. Come join the rest of us. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me. Call me, mate. You need to wake up from where you're at right now. You need to take me by the hand. Come with me. You might have the answers, but let's go. Let's do this together. Come with me. A good friend will remind you what it's all about. Will remind you what everything is about. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, it says, finally, brethren, finally, brothers, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. What's it all about? What's it all? This life that we're living, our time on earth, if we're going to seize today, we need to know what we're going to seize it for. We need to know what this bad boy is all about. We're birthed into this earth not just to work, get married, retire and die. That's not it. That's not it at all. If we're going to seize today, it's in your head. It's in your head. See, nothing practical changed. Nothing physical changed in my life when I made a decision I'm going to seize today. It started in my mind. It started, I'm going to make choices today. In my work, I'm going to be a representation of Jesus. I'm going to represent Jesus today. I'm going to take every opportunity today to seize it. When I got home on my lunch breaks, every opportunity I had to talk to someone, not just going on autopilot, not just thinking about tomorrow and you're half listening, you're half not. I'm going to seize that opportunity. What's this conversation about? Where can I point it to? If this person needs sharpening, how can I take off some of those edges? How can I point them to Jesus? If I'm going to use every moment of every day, like we heard this morning, the Apostle Paul lived a life. He seized significant moments. He grabbed a hold of every opportunity he had. He took life by the throat. He said, I'm not just going to be a recipient of whatever happens. I'm going to seize today. I'm going to take a hold of today. For the name of Jesus Christ, I'm going to make today be effective. I'm going to make today have power. I'm going to make today fruitful. And one of the other things that I had to deal with in my life, that it takes a secure person to build up, to lift up, to encourage, and to elevate the people around me. It takes a secure person for you to lift up someone else, to give encouragement to someone else all the time, and for it to not shake your identity. See, for me, to be honest, I found it hard for a while that if someone else started to get ahead, I'd compare myself. How dangerous is comparing? I'd begin to look at myself and say, what am I doing wrong? This person's getting so far ahead. Look at all the things happening in their life. And I began to get a little bit jealous, because they're getting close to where they're wanting to go and I'm just stuck back here for some reason, and it made things hard. It began to shake my identity. You see, this season as a church, we're finding our true identity. God is revealing day by day, day by day, day by day, not just in the four walls of the church, but as we come around friends, in our life groups, in our prayer groups, and whatever we're a part of, God is shaping our lives, pointing us to Jesus. Our identity is being refined. This is just a question to ask yourself. Can you lift someone up without it rocking you a little bit? Can you be so happy for someone when they get successes to not think, first thought, not to think for yourself, well, why didn't I get that? Why didn't I get that? If the band could please come back up. Will you come with me tonight, church? I want to go with you. I want to go with you. I want to seize this life that we have. I want to seize every opportunity that we're going to get as a church, every opportunity that God has orchestrated for us. I want to seize. I want to seize. You see, there's a quote I love. I'm not sure who said it, but it says, the opportunity of a lifetime has to be taken in the lifetime of the opportunity. The opportunity of a lifetime has to be taken in the lifetime of the opportunity. I don't want to look back one day and be so worried about what tomorrow was going to bring that I missed the opportunity today. That I missed the opportunity today. All of a sudden the opportunity had come and it had gone because I was so worried about something else. That also, I was measuring the distance from here until there, from where I wanted to go. Instead of reflecting, Jesus, I'm on the journey right now. I'm going to celebrate right now. You put people in my life that are going to come with me, encourage me, and build me up to go with them. To go with them. Church, are you going to come with me tonight? Are we going to be the kind of church that takes every opportunity that we get to talk to people in our life, not necessarily to give them answers, but just to love them? How did Jesus relate to people? How did Jesus talk to people? He didn't go say, you need to do this, and this. Bye. He didn't. He walked with people. Remember those two guys on the road to Emmaus? After Jesus has been risen from the grave, he just walked alongside of them. He didn't cut off the conversation. He didn't change the conversation. He just walked alongside them and said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And just through conversation, began to tell them the gospel. That through that conversation began to tell them about there is a God that loves them. And by the end of their journey, their eyes were open, not to come in and said, you have to do this. That he was like a friend that just walked up beside someone and said, come with me. Come with me. Let's go on this walk together. Let's go to your place and we'll just talk along the way. We'll just live this life together. I'll laugh when you laugh. I'll cry when you cry. Sometimes as family, we have conflicts as well, but that's all right. That's fine. That's fine. We're family. We're friends. This is what life is all about. We grow in relationship.